Hey folks, how we going? Welcome to the kitchen. First brew, well, first video of a brew day in the new digs. So today I'm doing the newest easy extract recipe. This is a J Juice clone, Hop Nation's J Juice. You may know it as the Jedi juice, which is what it was called originally before they obviously had dramas with the people who owned the term Jedi. They weren't happy with it, so it is now J Juice. And I've been wanting to actually do an all grain recipe this for quite a while, and I've just never really got around to it, never found the space. And I thought with the easy extract going, I thought okay, first couple of brews have been fairly simple and standard sort of brews, haven't been too elaborate. I thought okay, it's time to step up a little bit, go into something a little bit more, with a little bit more depth of flavour, a little bit more hop going on, and see how the method stands up with such a brew. So it sounded like the perfect opportunity for me. It's taken me a while to get the bits and pieces together. Just semantics and suppliers and whatnot, and a little bit of other stuff going on. Just haven't really got into it. But anyway, we are into it right now. Today it's mid-afternoon. It's going on at the moment 5 minutes to 3 o'clock. So if I was doing all grain, I wouldn't be. I personally, my schedules would not even be considering starting this time of the day unless the wife was out of town. Realistically, and I had just whatever time. So about 20 minutes ago, I put this pot on the stove. 6 litres of water. This is our steeping water. This is going to do our partial mash. Okay. Water's been treated with the usual suspects: sodium, a bit of sorbic acid. Treat the chlorine, the chloramine. I've added some chemicals. I'm not going to go into great details about chemicals or even about weights or anything. I will put that all down in the description, simply because I'm doing a 14 litre batch. I'm going to give you guys the recipe for a full prep batch, which will be 20 litres. So from that perspective, everything's pretty much the same. It's just the final volumes are going to be a little bit out. You can still start with your 6 litres. That's what I've been running on most of the brews. That has been for a brew that's been running 4.5–5% ABV. This is going to run, hoping it should get us into the low 7s, somewhere between 7.2 and 7.4. Hopefully. So it needs a bit more grain, so it needs a little bit more volume. My choices for pots are this 10 litre, which has got the tri-clad base on it, which is a nice heavy base which works good on the gas stove, or the 20 litre Big W pot, which is just the thin stainless. And I'm not really wanting to use that on the gas. It was all right on the old place on the electric stove, on the ceramic cooktop. On the gas I'd rather not, so I've gone to 10 litres. I nearly picked up a 15 litre similar pot the other couple of weeks back when I was in Wagga at Kmart, and I should have just grabbed it. But I was being a fucking tight ass and didn't want to spend it. I don't know, it was 35 bucks or something. Didn't want to spend it, but anyway. And because I do 14 litre batches more often, 13 or 14 than the 20s, I didn't really need it. So anyway, water's on. It's sitting at about 70 degrees. Got me grain here in my big old grain bag. I've got no heat under the water. The temperature, the heat is off. I've got grain here. I've got that much. It's a 5 litre jug, so it's about that much worth. In she goes. I have some Voyager Atlas, so just Pilsner Malt. That's because that's the Pilsner Malt I've got. Whatever Pilsner Malt you want. You could use an ale malt, but I think you're going to get a little bit too much colour out of it. Okay, so we've got that, and I've got about half of the amount of Pilsner in flaked wheat, was actually rolled wheat, and same again in just a standard wheat malt. So on this, I think it's 910 pills, 420 of each of the wheats. So if you're going a 20 litre batch, it's going to be about a third more of that. But then I said, check down the bottom. So that's in. I'm going to let that steep now for half an hour. I'm going to come back every 10 minutes and give it a stir, make sure we're getting good extraction, getting as much out as we can, and just checking the temperature doesn't drop too far. If it gets down to about, you know, into the low 60s, I'll just pop a little bit of heat. I want to try and keep this in the mid 60s if I can, but the 60s range is where we need to be. That's your main thing. So anyway, I'll come back in half an hour. Okay, half an hour down. Yes, our mash is done. So I'm going to get the grain bag out of here. Got a strainer set up over here in the sink, just to avoid some mess. I normally use a shelf off the fridge and just sit it on top, but let's go with this for today. Alright, so we turn this back to the stove and get it coming to a boil. And I'm going to throw in that. And if I don't tell you what it is, you're not going to know what it is. So let's leave it a bit of a mystery. No, let's not do that. 30 gram bag of Riwaka. Now, at this point, I've got to give some kudos to the guys up there at Happy Days Brewing. I've taken my recipe reasonably heavily from their recipe, and with just a little bit of change, obviously going with the dry extract and the steeping, I've changed things a little bit, but I'm sticking mostly fairly close to their recipe. Now, their recipe has Riwaka in it. J-Juice had Riwaka in it at a stage. Whether it always has, I'm not completely sure. The cans, I've got a 4-pack only a couple of weeks back. I've still got 2 cans to finish. I'm holding some so I can do a comparison on this when it's finished brewing. There's no mention of Riwaka on the can. On the Hop Nation website, it does mention Riwaka. So is it there or is it not? Who knows? But the boys up there at Happy Days use Riwaka for bittering, so I'm sticking with that. I'm doing a 30-minute boil. I think the original recipe only called for a 30-minute hop addition anyway for the bittering. But I'm trying to avoid long boils as part of the OG extract. It's all part of the vibe behind it, the feeling, the whole idea of these extracts is that it's a little bit quicker, or it's a lot quicker. So we're not doing really long boils. But that is a first wort addition, which means it goes into the mash as soon as you stop mashing. So as soon as you start raising the temperature to a boil, you put your first wort hops in. Now, what that is supposed to do is it brings out a lighter bitterness. You get the same IBU contribution as you would if you did just a straight boil addition when you got to the start of your boil. But there is some science in releasing and activating the alpha acids, and the other acids and things in the hops as you come up to a boil temperature. That actually makes that bitterness a little bit softer. I've done the experiment quite a long time ago. And I didn't actually, I just did a brew where I didn't actually do a comparison, but I did find that beer did seem to have a quite soft round bitterness. It avoids that, sharp bitterness that you normally get with with your first bittering addition. So that's where that is. That's the logic behind that addition. So I'll let that come to a boil. So 30 minutes. After 15 minutes, we've got some more hops to go in. We'll come back and have a look at that shortly. In the meantime, I'm going to squeeze this bag out, get any last bits of juice out of it, and stick it back in there. And that's a good idea, because that's close to a litre there. It's got 900 ml. I'm going to get another 100, 150 without too much trouble out of the grain that's still there. See you soon. Righto. I muddled up before. I said we had 15 minutes to go before we put hops in. That was not correct. The next hops were a 15-minute hop stand. So I've just boiled for half an hour, and I tell you what, it smells pretty friggin' amazing in here. Oof, smelling good. So I'm just going to get these out. They could probably stay in, like in all honesty, the recipe has allowed for them to be in to get IBU, but I'm just going to take them out just to make it a little bit easier on what I'm trying to do. Anyway, so I want a 15-minute hop stand about 90 minutes. So I'm going to drop that's about half a litre of water. Now I've got the balance of my water sitting in the fermenter down in the brew, where we'll head down to soon. And I've got it sitting in the ferment fridge. I've got it a little bit too cool. I wanted 90 degrees. I've got that down to about 80. I probably should have. I didn't want to just throw them in, but I probably should have and just let it go. But I'll pop them in. 15-minute hop stand. So give this a good good whirlpool, good stir up. And I'll just let that sit, and I'll come back every bloody, I don't know, I'll come back about halfway through and give it another stir. Just try and keep them hops, the water moving around a little bit. Well actually that's going to make up for it. I had on the recipe 20 grams of Citra and 20 grams of Mosaic for here. Because I'm using the kilo packs on this brew, they're 25 grams a packet, so I've just upped both of these 25 grams. So the little bit of IBU I lose by taking that Riwaka out, realistically I'm going to pick up now, probably having that extra bit of hop in there. So it's going to balance out much the same, and that's probably enough heat under there now. So we'll let that go. While that's doing that, I'm going to go down and get the fermenter ready for the next stage. Alright, that's Whirlpool done. So we'll get this bag out of here. Right. Follow me to the brewery. I'll meet you down there. Just close that so you can see what's going on. Anyway, back to the brewery. Down here is the fermenter. 20 litre Keg King Jr. I've got 8 litres of my cooled water in there. Dry malts. Now I've left my bloody little scribbly paper upstairs. Let's see if I can remember what it is. 910 grams. About there, knife of Dry Pilsner Malt. About 350 of Dry Wheat Malt, about 250 of Dry Oat Malt, about 200 grams of Dextrose. I'm just adding that into that oil mixture, getting it all dissolved. Alright, let's see what we can get in there. Let's see what we can get in. Now I've got 8 litres of water in the fermenter. Which I'm hoping should get me somewhere around where I'm looking to be. Looking for 14 all up. I'm hoping this is going to get me 12, 13. I can get a gravity reading and then adjust if I need to. Right, at the moment there's about 12.5 litres in there. Okay, it feels like it's sitting probably in the low 30s. So what I'm going to do is pop a lid on and grab a little bit of, grab a bloody gravity sample, see what we're looking at, whether we need to adjust our volume. As I said, this is going to work better if you put gas in the headspace, not into the actual liquid. You know, it's a bit of trial and error with volumes with, you know, this higher gravity. So let's see where we're looking at. I think right now I don't even know what my bloody target gravity was. Somewhere around 1068 from memory. I've got a hydrometer here somewhere. Hiding everything from you, aren't you? You can't see you on this fella. I've got a hydro sample. Is sitting, looking at somewhere around 1062. At the moment it's a little hard to see, there's a bit of quite a bit of foam on top of there, so I can't actually see where it is by guesstimating. So we're a few points under off that, but we're still a little bit warm, so it should come up. So I'll stick a final gravity reading here, and also in the comments down below. So ferment will be with this fella, Cellar Science Hazy, 1 packet, close enough to a gram a litre. I'm plenty happy with that. So this will ferment for, I think, 4 days at 17 degrees. Then I'll drop the first dry hop, which is, I think top of my head, some Citra and Nelson Sauvin. And then 3 days later I will raise the temp another degree to 19. Drop day 4 dry hop one, I'll drop up a degree as well. Then the second dry hop on, which will be day 7, again, which will be Citra and Nelson Sauvin, we'll go up another degree to 19, leave it there for another 3 days, and then we'll cold crash. It should be done by then. We'll cold crash, and should be ready to go. So that's 4, 7, 10, 12 days is expected turnaround. So 2 weeks from now she'll be in the keg, and 2 weeks from there we'll be looking to get some tasting going on. So about a month from now we'll be looking at how this fella turned out. So if you've got any comments or any questions, stick them down the bottom. Patrons, guys, thank you as always for your support. There's a link down the bottom to Patreon if you're interested. Jump on, a couple of bucks a month, helps out the channel, lets me play around, lets me do all the experimenting and stuff I do. If you're subscribing to the channel, thank you. If you're not, hit the subscribe button down below, ring the notification bell, then you don't miss any videos. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. All these things help keep the channel going. But anyway, got to clean up now. It's about 10 minutes worth. The time right now is about 10 to 5, so 10 minutes to clean this, get it wrapped up, 2.5 hours from start to finish, half the time of an all grain brew day, and I'm hoping in a month's time we get a beer that's, you know, fairly much on par with it. But anyway, guys, till I see you in the next video, we brew and beer, drinking beer and talking beer. Good brewing. I can't even taste it with bloody hydro sample because I want to leave this to get a proper bloody reading. Cheers.